Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Psychology Unit 14, which is all about social psychology. Social psychology is the study of how we think about, influence, and relate to others. The attribution theory is that people blame either internal or external causes for their behavior or an event. An example of this would be if you do bad on a test and you start blaming the test questions, saying they were really hard, which would be external causes, instead of your decision to not study, which would be an internal cause. And the fundamental attribution theory is the tendency to emphasize one's character traits instead of the situational factors when describing their behavior. An example would be if you're in a meeting and somebody walks in late, your first thought might be that you think they're lazy instead of considering other situational factors like traffic or if something was going on at their house before the meeting. Role-playing effects are social, emotional, and cognitive results that come from role-playing activities. A really great example of role-playing effects is Philip Zimbardo's Stanford Prison Experiment, where he had a bunch of men act as either prisoners or prison guards, and during the experiment they had to cut it over a week shorter than how it was originally going to be because the guards started acting extremely cruel and abusive to the prisoners, and it would have been unethical to keep it going. Conformity is adjusting one's behavior to match with a group standard. So in this experiment, the guards all began acting really cruel. Once the first guard started to act sort of cruel, the rest of them all decided to match the group standard and act that way. Cognitive dissonance is the tension experienced when people hold two or more conflicting values or beliefs, or when one's actions contradict their beliefs. An example would be eating unhealthy food while you're trying to lose weight. Attitudes. Central route persuasion is an attitude change in which a person focuses on the arguments. This could be like an anti-vaping campaign that uses statistics and numbers in vape-related deaths, in which the people actually focus on the statistics to change their attitude. And then peripheral route persuasion is an attitude in which people are influenced by external incidental cues. A really great example of this is celebrity endorsements in ads. A lot of people are willing to go buy a product just because a celebrity they liked was in a commercial with it. The foot in the door phenomenon is if a person goes along with a small request, they will build up to bigger requests. This could be like in stores when they're handing out free samples. They start with the sample and then they work their way up to asking you to buy the product, and you're more likely to buy the product after having the sample. Group influence. Social loafing is exerting less effort when working in a group than when working individually. This is because oftentimes we think other people will pick up the work for us. De-individuation is giving into the crowd and losing self-awareness. Back to the Stanford Prison Experiment, pretty much all of the prisoners and the guards experienced de-individuation because they were acting like prisoners and guards and not like themselves. Group polarization is that differences between groups will only grow larger as time goes on. A really great example is political parties and how they're very extreme. The scapegoat theory is an outlet for anger by providing someone to blame. This could be like when somebody blames racial or ethnic or religious groups for economic problems, even though they have nothing to do with it. They just need somebody to blame for the problems. Prejudice is a hostile opinion about a group or person without sufficient knowledge. This could be like racism or just genuinely not liking a certain group of people. Discrimination is prejudicial treatment of people based on characteristics such as race, gender, and age. The other race effect is the ability to recall faces of one's own race better than faces of other races. So as a white person, I'm able to differentiate between two different white men easier than somebody from Asia. And somebody from Asia is going to have much better luck differentiating between two different Asian men than I am. An in group is everyone inside of our social circle that we share a common identity with. This can be like for anything, like football fans of the same team. And then the out group is everybody else not inside the in group. This could be like football fans for every other team. And the just world phenomenon is that people deserve what they get and get what they deserve. So, like karma. Attraction. Passionate love is intense absorption in another, present at the beginning of the relationship, which will eventually lead into companionate love, which is deep attachment we feel for those that our lives are intertwined with. So passionate love is for either short-term relationships or long-term relationships, but it's only present at the beginning. And then companionate love is for long-term relationships. Altruism is when we put others' needs before our own, like basic acts of kindness. And the bystander effect is that bystanders are less likely to provide aid when there are other bystanders present. This is because we think other people are going to do the acts that we pass by. And that's it for Unit 14 of Psychology. Be sure to like and subscribe for more, and thank you for watching.